Hey guys, Alicia Godfrey here with Keller Williams Excel Realty. I wanted to take a minute and give you the September market update. So I have my post-it note cheat sheet here, so pardon me if I look down, but in the month of September of 2023, just last month, we saw 2,445 homes of some sort. That's condos, that's mansions, that's little tiny houses, that's everything, sell. All right, last year in the same month, we saw 2,858 sales. So we're down 14.5% to last year. We did see 2,900 new listings come to the market in September of this year. That is still not where we need to be to balance out the market. So we're sitting at about 1.5 months worth of inventory. And you've heard me say it before, in order for it to be a fair and balanced market for buyers and sellers, you should have about 6 months worth of inventory. We just aren't used to having anywhere near that, but it is up from last year. Last year at the same time, we had 1.3 months worth of inventory. So now we're sitting at 1.5. So those days on market have gone up a little bit. Last year at this time, it was 18 days on market. This year in September, it's been 20 days average on market before a home goes into contract. So we can see things kind of inching up. What is interesting to think about is, why are those days on market inching up? One is because we have more inventory and we have a lot more homes to look at. Not a lot more, but a few more homes to look at. The other is the interest rate, which is what everybody's talking about. So I wanted to put that into perspective. And it's going to be a little bit of a history lesson that goes before I was even born, but it's important to understand these things. So back in 1975, which wasn't that long before I was born, interest rates were just a little bit over 9%. By 1981, when I was crawling around at my parents' house, we peaked actually at 16.63% average interest rates. So most of my buyers in this current market didn't necessarily experience that in the same way, myself included. Obviously, when you're in diapers, you can't understand interest rates and what your parents might have been going through. But talk to your parents. My parents, they built a house in 1977 and probably had a crazy double-digit interest rate, okay? And they turned out fine and they own their home. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, homes were way cheaper then. And you're right, homes were way cheaper then, but also the average salary was a lot less then as well. So proportionately speaking, not a crazy big difference. Now, in what we saw after that 16.63% is we saw it stay in those double digits until about 1991, and that is when it hit 9.25%. That was its first time going below double digits since 1975. And in 2003, for the first time ever, we went below 6% at 5.83% average. That kicked off this 20-year time period where we saw the all-time lows of 2.96% in 2021. So for my folks that have been shopping in the last 5 years or so, which, you know, our first-time homeowners are actually waiting longer to buy their first house. I did not fall into that category. I bought my first house when I was 22 years old with my husband, and I am so thankful I did, because you buy that first house, you build equity, you sell it, you put more money down on the next house. And it worked out amazing, and it can work amazing for you too. But I'm off on a tangent again. But for the majority of my first-time home buyers, they never experienced rates being, above 6%, because since 2003, 20 years now, we have seen interest rates below 6%. So for us, it's blowing our minds that interest rates can be at 8%, which is about where we are sitting right now. But if you look at the historical averages, we're just sitting in the average at 8%. They're still anticipating that these interest rates will come back down in the next year or so, maybe two. I have no crystal ball to be able to tell you exactly when that is going to happen, and there are so many outside factors that influence our economy and the decisions that are made at a much higher pay grade level than me. But I can tell you this, our inventory levels are not creeping up enough that when the interest rates do come back down, we're not going to have this crazy surplus of houses sitting around waiting for when the buyers flood back into the market. And I truly do believe that if we sit at 8% for a while, or heaven forbid, if we went above 8% and we dropped back down to a 7, all of a sudden that's going to start to look a whole lot more appealing at 7% versus your rental, which is 100% interest. You're not getting anything out of that rental. So if you happen to be renting, think about it that way. Yes, you're going to pay a higher interest rate, but your competition level on your new house has just gone down drastically because so many people are saying, I'll just wait till the interest rates come down. If you happen to be sitting on a home and you have a great interest rate and you purchased that home using an FHA or a VA loan product, call me. There is something interesting, and you actually may be able to pass along that killer interest rate you got to the person who would buy your house, which could in turn get you a higher purchase price for your house. Maybe. We'll see. Always something to look into there. It does require that you're able to meet some specific financial requirements in order to cash in and get their magical rate. Like you have to be able to pay all the equity they have in the house, but it is a cool thing that can definitely be explored. So lots of cool stuff going on in our market. It's not cooling off, you guys. We're still seeing strong offers come in on properties, but I would say from personal experience, not as many multiple offer situations, not as crazy as far as driving prices through the roof. We're getting to the point where paying fair market value for a house is actually happening. So if you can afford that slightly higher monthly payment, you don't have to come with all sorts of extra appraisal gap coverage. You're just paying a higher monthly payment instead of paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more than what the house is worth in that initial purchase. So anyhow, lots of great information. You have any questions, feel free to call me, 614-579-8907. I'd love to talk more. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.